deforestation, and many more. So there is a need to tackle these issues and preserve the wildlife in our country. To tackle such issues and similar other issues, Project Lacons was established in 1998 with support of CSIR, DBT, Government of India, Central Zoo Authority of India, and Government of Andhra Pradesh, and the Laboratory for Conservation of Endangered Species itself was established in 2007. So, goal of Lacons is to use biotechnological tools to support in situ measures of conservation such as habitat preservation, species protection, and ex situ measures such as captive breeding and artificial breeding, etc. To better understand what is the importance of biodiversity in our society and in general, let us watch a short video.
Yep. Share your audio. Yeah, click on options in top corner, top right, top.
In options,
Yeah, in options,
share computer sound.
share computer audio. Yeah.
Okay.
Throughout the forest
Is
so
it
they can
audible
grow.
now?
Yeah, yes.
Leftovers are consumed by the millions of insects. Our planet's diverse, thriving ecosystems may seem like permanent fixtures, but they're actually vulnerable to collapse. Jungles can become deserts, and reefs can become lifeless rocks, even without cataclysmic events like volcanoes and asteroids. What makes one ecosystem strong and another weak in the face of change? The answer, to a large extent, is biodiversity. Biodiversity is built out of three intertwined features: ecosystem diversity, species diversity, and genetic diversity. The more intertwining there is between these features, the denser and more resilient the weave becomes. Take the Amazon rainforest, one of the most biodiverse regions on Earth due to its complex ecosystems, huge mix of species, and the genetic variety within those species. Here are tangled liana vines, which crawl up from the forest floor to the canopy, intertwining with treetops and growing thick wooded stems that support these towering trees. Helped along by the vines, trees provide the seeds, fruits, and leaves to herbivores such as the tapir and the agouti, which disperse their seeds throughout the forest so they can grow. Leftovers are consumed by the millions of insects that decompose and recycle nutrients to create rich soil. The rainforest is a huge system filled with many smaller systems like this, each packed with interconnected species. Every link provides stability to the next, strengthening biodiversity's weave. That weave is further reinforced by the genetic diversity within individual species, which allows them to cope with changes. Species that lack genetic diversity due to isolation or low population numbers are much more vulnerable to fluctuations caused by climate change, disease, or habitat fragmentation. Whenever a species disappears because of its weakened gene pool, a knot is untied and parts of the net disintegrate. So, what if we were to remove one species from the rainforest? Would the system fall apart? Probably not. The volume of species, their genetic diversity, and the complexity of the ecosystems form such rich biodiversity in this forest that one species gap in the weave won't cause it to unravel. The forest can stay resilient and recover from change. But that's not true in every case. In some environments, taking away just one important component can undermine the entire system. Take coral reefs, for instance. Many organisms in a reef are dependent on the coral. It provides key microhabitats, shelter, and breeding grounds for thousands of species of fish, crustaceans, and mollusks. Corals also form interdependent relationships with fungi and bacteria. The coral itself is a loom that allows the tangled net of biodiversity to be woven. That makes coral a keystone organism, one that many others depend on for their survival. So what happens when destructive fishing practices, pollution, and ocean acidification weaken coral or even kill it altogether? Exactly what you might think. The loss of this keystone species leaves its dependents at a loss too, threatening the entire fabric of the reef. Ecosystem, species, and genetic diversity together form the complex tangled weave of biodiversity that is vital for the survival of organisms on Earth. We humans are woven into this biodiversity too. When just a few strands are lost, our own well-being is threatened. Cut too many links, and we risk unraveling it all. What the future brings is unpredictable, but biodiversity can give us an insurance policy, Earth's own safety net, to safeguard our survival.
So after this video about biodiversity, now we will move on to story by our participants. So all the people who are participating in the storytelling competition, can you please raise your hands? So I can see 4 hands raised here. So are there only 4 people who will be participating? Everyone else, please also raise your hand so that we know. Okay, I see 6 people now. So we'll start with the first participant, Sania Mehjabeen. So I'll now allow you to talk and you can Go ahead with your story.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, Sanya. So you can start now. You have 5 minutes.
Okay.
Your time starts now. If you
The smallest and wisest insect. Once upon a time, on a hot sunny day, my eyes landed on a small scuttling creature. This insect is tiny but incredibly wise. It is none other than the ant. As I carefully observed the many black ants crawling in neat lines, I saw them carry huge sugar crystals, larger than their own little bodies. As they followed each other, I too closely followed them, curious and interested. Where is the hill like structure? I think this hill like structure is their home. I is their home. I studied what's known as an anthill. I was amazed at their work. Ants are truly hardworking. For my little experiment, I found that black ants love sweet things more than other foods. I learned that ants are very strong. They can carry things bigger and heavier than that. I also observed that ants are very friendly with each other. They almost always travel in large groups, and together their strength increases even further. They live beneath the ground in the anthills, constructed beautifully by their hard work. I was so fascinated by watching them, I didn't even realize that morning had turned to evening, and then I had to bid them goodbye. Now I aspire to be as hardworking as an ant. Thank you.
well, thank you, Sanya. Uh, and our next participant. So our next participant is Muhammad Sohail.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Muhammad.
Yeah, shall I start?
Your voice is not that clear. Can you adjust your mic a little? Just
Hello. Now it's clear.
yeah. Now your voice is clear. Just wait for a minute. I'll tell you when to start.
Hello.
Yeah, you can start now.
Okay. Upon a time, I took with a cup of coffee and I was staring at the clouds. That when the rain slows down. After seeing some time, I saw a stack of dragonflies in the sky, and I was very scared of them. Why are they? Why are there so many dragonflies in the sky? I was very scared, and I was staring them carefully. There were wings of it, and it was roaming round and round uh, of my house. Uh, I was scared, and I called my mother to check that. After some time, it went off, but when it rains again, they came. I studied them. I studied about them in Google, and I knew that uh, the dragons. Uh,
It's okay, Sohail. Keep going. Sohail, are you speaking? I cannot hear you. Sohail, can you hear me? Hello.
Hello.
Sohail, I couldn't hear you. Can you?
Yeah,
Were you speaking?
yeah, and I knew that NASA released a spectacular image of a huge dragon that flies in a sky, and then phenomenon caused by particles emanating from the sun that collide with Earth's atmosphere to put a gorgeous light show. Uh, Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, Sohail.
Okay.
So our next participant is Nehal. Nehal, you can go ahead.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity. It was a harsh sunny day in the summer vacation when and my family planned to visit Jim Corbett National Park, which is quite famous for its lush flora and fauna. In the park, we were greeted by a guide who took us through the sanctuary. While we were going through the lush flora of the park, we heard some rustling in the bushes. We stopped to see what was behind the bushes, and there was a very small but a cute little deer. Apparently, these species of deer are known as Samba deer, and it is the largest species found in the park. After looking at us for a brief moment, the deer runs away. We saw many deers during our stay at the Jim Corbett Park. After that, while we were while we were going to the rest house, we saw some gharials and alligators lazing around the river bank of Ramganga River. After admiring the gharials and alligators, we proceeded to the burned forest area of the sanctuary, where we saw a herd of elephants. Elephants are quite famous for the tusk, but most of the elephants I've seen in the park didn't have tusks though. And after that, we proceeded to the rest house, which was surrounded by lush forest to sleep for the night. The next day, I woke up to a guide saying that a tiger was spotted near the rest house, and it tried to climb the walls early in the morning around at 4 a.m. It was just about 5 in the morning. So the guide said we still might have a chance to see a tiger that day. That day, we never saw a tiger, but all we saw was its footprints on the sand. I'd like to end with a poem. Protect what's given for free: water, skies, wildlife, and trees. If they are gone, don't you say you've not been born for that fatal day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nehal. So our next participant is Arjun Vijaya Kumar.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
Arjun, you can. Yes, you can start now.
Okay, sir. We were traveling from Mysore to Ooty via the Mudumale forest, and it had so many lush green trees. On our way to Ooty, we saw many different animals like monkeys, peacocks, Samba Deer, and surprisingly, we even saw an elephant calf in the wild. Many people behind and ahead of us stopped and took photos of it. It looked incredibly adorable, and I think it was crossing the road to go to the other side, possibly with its mother to drink the water from the nearby stream. Unfortunately, we were not able to see its face. Until we came out of the forest, we were continuously talking about the elephant. When we came to a small town, we halted for some tea and snacks. After 10 to 15 minutes, we saw a sign which read Mudumale Forest Wildlife Sanctuary. And then it had some pictures of elephants, samba deer, tigers, etc. And then we decided to explore and see the animals which were let to roam free in the wildlife sanctuary. They had charged us rupees 500 in total to explore the wildlife sanctuary in a private jeep. When we were returning, we saw a herd of elephants. They were walking across the road. Then something unexpected had happened. One of the elephants had stopped moving And believe me, it turned to us and raced to us while we were in the open jeep. I mean, just imagine if you are in an open jeep and a full-grown elephant was chasing at you. We were frightened. We were frightened, and I held on to my mother. Then the driver of the jeep gunned up the engine and drove towards the elephant, which was racing at us. And then, surprisingly, the elephant was retreating. Still in shock, I was literally not able to understand what was going on. Since I was very young, I was like so scared. And then later, the driver of the jeep told us that whenever such an incident would happen, we should stay calm and gun the engine with the roaring sound, and drive towards the elephant to show who the boss is. And then we went back to our car and continued on our journey. This memory will stay fully imprinted on my mind. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Arjun. And so our next participant is Mithilesh.
Sir, actually, I need around 6 minutes time. Can I get 6 minutes of time?
Yes, it's okay. You can take 6 minutes of time.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead.
So my story is titled Rookie the Snail. I was back in my terrace, staring out at the gorgeous sky, dotted with clouds, up to the heaven. It was as usual, a sunny, warm day. I was startled, attempting to dash into me. They made me remember why they are hated by many people, because of the not so white body and this too prevails in the human race. It was time for me to supply the 3-day lilies with a lifesaver and surviving constituent, water, to perform photosynthesis. I was watering each one, making sure no plant would dry up due to the absence of water. That was when I noticed an organism, not something I had observed in my 2 years of watering. It was gliding along on its not so visible muscular foot with its rasping tongue, and soon I noticed several gaps in few leaves of 2-day lilies. The tiny one was pouncing on the lily, and soon I realized that there were 2 of those nails. Tiny though can prove to be a mighty contender to other organisms in the competition of feeding on leaves. Being a nature lover, I couldn't harm the tiny 2 in any manner I knew, and letting them destroy my 3-day lilies wasn't a good option either. My mind flashed with the idea. I quickly headed over to my house and returned with 2 strawberries in a jar with multiple holes. I quickly laid down the 2 strawberries and caught the snail's attention as I had thought, and both the young ones headed over to have a bite out of this tasty strawberry. And when they were close, I plunked down the jar and caught a snail. I had forgotten about the other snail. It escaped quickly, never to be seen after. I took the young one over to my room and placed the jar on my table near the window. The holes in the jar made sure ventilation was being provided to the snail. I decided to name the snail Rookie. I learned something very important. Being small doesn't mean you're weak and can't do anything. The snail, though so tiny, can feed on leaves like a normal organism, and it surely might be slow in movement, but still has the protection of its shell. I fed Rookie with several worms, animal waste, few mushrooms. It could just go around eating anything. Maybe so much food made it tired, as it soon fell asleep, its shell hanging away slightly from its body. Rookie woke up the following day, and I took it to my farmhouse and let it out in the wild, thinking confining it to a jar for a day was too cruel. I observed it for the whole day and marked few important observations about it. Snails without soil are like fishes without water, and the microbes which are present in the soil help in keeping the soil healthy. And also a snail as well. Also snails don't have jaws or ears. While I was wondering about the fascinating observations I made, I noticed I had lost track of time in Rookie. Thankfully, being slow, I found Rookie feeding on a nearby leaf. I noticed it interacting with nematodes and mites. It looked like a lost family had been reunited. But after several minutes, I noticed Rookie and the other two organisms heading in different paths. Maybe I was wrong. It was late night and it was time for me to leave. Just when I was about to leave, I found Rookie at my feet, dashing against my feet, as if to indicate he wanted to stay with me. Nevertheless, I took him to my home and kept him in an aquarium with a lot of food inside. Rookie taught me being the last one doesn't matter because I still have a chance to win. This truly can be seen in case of Google, a famous company which entered late into the browser department and is dominating now. It was a strange night, warmy one. I dozed off, soon being tired after so much observation. I woke up the next day and I knew I couldn't keep Rookie with me, as this is not the place for it to stay. He should live in the outside world with the other organisms, helping be a part of the food chain. It is very important that consumers like snail exist in the food chain, as it helps in survival of us, humans. Even though it broke my heart into several fragments, I couldn't forfeit from this task. It was inevitable. I took Rookie to the terrace of my home and laid it in such a way that it could see the dawn. I gave it few strawberries and it happily fell into them. And just when I was about to leave, a strong wind blew and Rookie fell downwards at such a quick pace that I knew he had left the world, not only for me, but for everyone. I was sobbing. I will surely miss my friend Rookie. Thank you.
Okay, Mithilesh, are you done?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So our next participant is Ira.
Hello.
Hello, Ira.
Yeah. Good afternoon to everybody. My name is Ira and I'm from class 9 of Bharati Vidya Bhavans. So today for Wildlife Week, I'm presenting probably one of the most heartwarming incidents ever happened with me. So first, for a bit of a background, my family has been living in this house that I'm currently in for a very, very long time. And from what they've told me, 2 pigeons have been coming to our balcony for many years. My balcony has wide frames with a protruding edge where pigeons often rest and sometimes lay eggs too. But the problem is that their eggs keep falling off. But out of nowhere, just some random day, for no reason, the eggs did not fall off. And I'll tell you about that. So this is where my story begins. One day I get up to hear the chaotic screams of my brother and my grandmother. And when I get up, they take me to the balcony to see broken eggshells. But this time, instead of gross yolk spilt everywhere, it was a tiny, almost helpless, just born little chick. It hadn't even opened its eyes yet. It was just hopelessly lying there. In good conscience, we couldn't leave him there. So we picked him up and we put him back into the nest that the pigeon had built on our ledge. 30 minutes, I was worried, so I went to check on the little chick and he was fallen down again. At this point, I couldn't put him back. So we got the chick inside, put it in a box with some cotton and an unused mask for insulation while we researched online on what we should do to save him. First off, we took a syringe and slowly gave it some water because we all know that living organisms need water to survive. But for food, we didn't know what to give. So after some research, we decided to grind oats, mix it with water, and give it to the chick with a syringe as well. And at first, it wasn't drinking or eating anything, but gradually as time passed, it got more comfortable around us, and so did we get more comfortable around it. We fed it about 8 times a day and giving it very little food each time. We kept it in a warm environment throughout. All this said, we went to bed that night hoping dearly that it survives. Once we woke up in the morning, hoping to see our little chick alive, we were surprised with not just one alive chick, but 2. Now, how? Well, the same thing. It was lying in the balcony again, but it was very different from our first chick. It was much bigger and had much brighter fur. My conclusion? That the first chick was born prematurely, so it was smaller and more fragile. Now, since we had 2 chicks for distinction, we decided to name them both. The first one was called Loopy, and the second one was called Snoopy. Silly names, I know. Don't ask me how I came up with those because I don't know either. Well, anyways, Just like we did before, we bought the second chick inside too, insulated it, and fed it. Despite of all our efforts, it was evident that these two were not going to survive without their mother. And taking into consideration how attached we'd gotten to these two, we had to ensure their survival. After making a few more attempts to put the chick back in the nest, they kept falling. So we researched and found that birds don't like it when other people touch their babies, and it is known that they abandon their chicks if they're touched by other people. That clearly did not make sense to us, and it was so unfair. So we decided to try one last time. And this time we tried a little differently. We thought that the chicks might be falling just because they're clumsy. So we took a stool, we put a basket on the stool, and we took the nest and put it in the basket. And we put both chicks into the nest, anxiously waiting to see if their parents would come back, and we would get to see a happy reunion. Lo and behold, after many hours, the mother pigeon landed on the nest, and we witnessed the most wholesome, genuine, and joyous reunion of her mother and her children. Unexpectedly, the mother started tending to the chicks again, but the basket's handle was proving to be an obstacle, so we made another adjustment. We took the nest and just put it on the floor. Now, because of this, we overcame the last obstacle in our quest to save our two chicks. Every day since, we watched them grow, anxiously hoping to see the day they take their first flight. After about 3 months, we bid them goodbye from afar as they took their flights to face the world. We still get to see the fruit of our hard work when they come to visit us on occasion. As for their parents, they greet us every morning when we get up and every night when we sleep. They practically live in our balcony and only go out to get food and water and probably to meet their kids. Now, that marks the end of my story. I hope you found it interesting, and thank you. Have a great day. I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Ira. So our next participant is Mumtaz. Mumtaz, you can go ahead. Hello, Mumtaz. Can you hear me? Mumtaz, are you there? I think Mumtaz is not there in the meeting anymore. So meanwhile, we'll move on with our next participant, Kirti Akshara. Kirti, you can go ahead with your story now. Kirti, you are muted. You need to unmute yourself. Kirti, are you able to hear me? Other people who are participating in storytelling competition, can you please raise your hand? Sanya and Sohail, you have already told your stories, so you can lower your hands. I need to see the hands of people who are yet to tell their stories. Okay. Ruxana, you can go ahead with your story. Ruxana, hello. Hello. This one.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Ruxana.
Hi, sir.
You can start with your story. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Wait 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Ruxana, I think your network is not that good. You can turn
Is
off your
that, sir?
video so that you can turn off your video so that the audio is better.
Okay, sir. Sir? I'm saying waiting for you, sir.
Oh, you have a
Forest
demonstration.
botany.
Okay.
So where is man cutting a forest, sir? Where does the when you cut?
Sanya, your voice is not clear. Can you switch to some other network? We are not able to hear you. Sorry, Ruxana. So you need to, I think, do something about your network. We are not able to hear or either see anything right now. Hello, Ruxana. I cannot hear you right now.
Hello, sir. Is there anyone?
Yeah, Ruxana, your voice is clear now. Yeah, you can
Shall I explain?
Yeah, you can start.
Hello?
Yes, Ruxana. Hello.
Shall I explain, sir?
Yes, you can explain. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. Sir, I want to explain in Telugu, sir. Hello?
Ruxana, not
Yes, sir.
everyone will.
Hello?
Hello. So you want to explain in Telugu?
Yes, sir. If you say
Okay.
must want to say in English, I will say in English, sir.
Okay, you can first explain in Telugu, then we'll see. You can go ahead.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
సార్ నేను చిన్నప్పుడు పరిసరాలు మొత్తం చూస్తుండేటప్పుడు అక్కడ మొత్తం అడవులు చెట్లతో నిండిపోయి ఉండేది సార్. బట్ ఇప్పుడు ప్రెసెంట్ మన పనుల కోసం దాన్ని కొట్టేయడం వల్ల జంతువులన్నీ చనిపోవడం జరుగుతుంది సార్. మనం వాటి ప్లేస్ లో ఆక్యుపై చేయడం వల్ల అవి చనిపోతున్నాయి. బట్ అవి ఎక్కడ పోవాలి సార్ మనం వచ్చి అక్కడ ఆక్యుపై చేస్తే? నెక్స్ట్ ఈ ఫారెస్టర్స్ అని లేకుంటే ఈ ప్రపంచమే లేదు సార్. కాబట్టి ఫస్ట్ ఫారెస్టర్స్ మెయిన్ సార్. ఫారెస్ట్ లో ఉండే వైల్డ్ అనిమల్స్ కూడా ఈ మధ్య తగ్గిపోవడం మనం చాలా చూస్తున్నాం సార్. వైల్డ్ అనిమల్స్ సార్.
Your video, you wanted to show
Yes, sir.
the
Yes, sir.
schematic also, no? We can't see your video.
I can't put on my video, sir.
Yes, we can see it clearly now.
Yes, sir.
You want to restart your presentation?
Okay, sir. నేను చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి నా పరిసరాల్లో చూస్తున్నప్పుడు ఈ పరిసరాలు మా ఇంటి పరిసరాల్లో మొత్తం చెట్లు అడవులు మొత్తం ఉండేవి. కానీ ఇప్పుడు మొత్తం ఎలా అయిపోయిందంటే ఇలా అయిపోయింది. చెట్లని మొత్తం నరికేస్తూ అంతా బిల్డింగ్స్ కన్స్ట్రక్షన్ జరుగుతూ ఇలా అయిపోయింది. నెక్స్ట్ వచ్చేసి మనము ఆక్సిజన్ లేకుంటే అనిమల్స్ కానీ మనుషులు కానీ ఈ వల్ల ఎవరు ఉండలేరు. నెక్స్ట్ సార్ ఫారెస్ట్ అన్ని నరికేస్తున్నారు సార్. నరికేసి అక్కడ ఉన్న అనిమల్స్ అన్ని చనిపోతున్నాయి సార్. ఎందుకంటే మన వల్లే సార్. అది ఫస్ట్ ఫారెస్ట్ ఉండడం వల్లనే ఉంటేనే జంతువులు దాంట్లో ఉండగలుగుతాం, లేకుంటే ఉండలేరు సార్. నెక్స్ట్ మనం వచ్చేసి మన యూజెస్ కోసం కూడా ఫారెస్ట్ ని నరికేస్తున్నాం సార్. లైక్ పేపర్స్ కోసం, న్యూస్ పేపర్స్ కోసం కటింగ్ చేస్తున్నాం సార్. నెక్స్ట్ ప్లాంట్స్ వల్ల మనకు చాలా ఉపయోగాలు ఉన్నాయి సార్. బట్ దాన్ని మనం యూజ్ చేసుకోలేకపోతున్నాం. ఎందుకు అంటే ప్లాంట్స్ మొత్తం నరికేయడం వలన అనిమల్స్ ప్లాంట్స్ అన్ని చనిపోతున్నాయి. మన ఫ్యూచర్ కి మనం గ్యారెంటీ ఇవ్వలేకపోతున్నాం సార్. నెక్స్ట్ when we cut trees for our work, who is responsible to wild animals? మనం మన అవసరాల కోసం ట్రీస్ ని కట్ చేసేస్తున్నాం సార్. దానివల్ల ఈ అనిమల్స్ కి రెస్పాన్సిబుల్ ఎవరు ఇవ్వగలుగుతారు సార్? నెక్స్ట్ సార్ the animals which are in red book which are least like lions. ఇప్పుడు మనం వచ్చేసి అడవులకు వెళ్తున్నాం సార్. మనం అక్కడ ఫ్యాక్టరీస్ బిల్డ్ చేసుకోవడానికి కానీ లేదా హౌసెస్ బిల్డ్ చేసుకోవడానికి కానీ అక్కడికి వెళ్తున్నాం సార్. మనం అక్కడ వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత చెట్లని నరికేస్తున్నాం. ఆ నరికేయడం వల్ల లయన్స్ అనేవి మన దగ్గరకు వచ్చేస్తున్నాయి. అంటే అక్కడ మనం ఇల్లు కట్టుకోవడం వల్ల అక్కడ ఉన్నవన్నీ జంతువులన్నీ వాళ్ళ సరౌండింగ్స్ లో మనం ఆక్యుపై చేయడం వల్ల వచ్చేసి మనల్ని హార్మ్ చేస్తున్నాయి. నెక్స్ట్ అనిమల్స్ వచ్చేసి అనిమల్స్ అన్ని అవి నేటివ్ ప్లేస్ వచ్చేసి మనం పోయి ఆక్యుపై చేయడం వల్ల అవి వేరే ప్లేస్ కి వెళ్ళిపోవడం వల్ల అవి తగ్గిపోతున్నాయి. లైక్ దానికి ఫుడ్ లేకను, నెక్స్ట్ సర్వైవ్ అవ్వలేకను, అట్మాస్ఫియర్ వలన ఏమో వాటి రీజన్స్ వల్ల అవి చనిపోవడం జరుగుతుంది. నెక్స్ట్ స్నేక్స్ సార్. ఈ మధ్య ఎక్కువ స్నేక్స్ చూస్తున్నాం సార్ టీవీస్ లో. స్నేక్స్ ఇళ్ళలోకి వస్తున్నాయి అని. అవి ఎందుకు అవి ఇందులోకి రావడం వలన వాళ్ళు చాలా మంది దానిని చంపేస్తున్నారు సార్. ఎందుకు అంటే అవి మనకు హార్మ్ఫుల్ కాబట్టి మనం దానిని చంపేస్తున్నాము. ఎందుకు మనం వాటి నేటివ్ ప్లేస్ లోకి మనం వెళ్ళి మనమే దానిని చంపేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి దాంట్లో మన చాలా తప్పు ఉంది కదండి సార్. నెక్స్ట్ సార్ మన ఫ్యూచర్ జనరేషన్స్ కి మనం ఇప్పుడు ఇలానే చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోయినాం అనుకోండి సార్. ఇప్పుడు డిఫారెస్టేషన్ చేస్తున్నాము. డిఫారెస్టేషన్ మనం అఫారెస్టేషన్ చేయకపోతే మన ఫ్యూచర్ జనరేషన్స్ కి మనం గ్యారంటీ ఇవ్వలేము. ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు అఫారెస్టేషన్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోతే there is no trees after 100 years. I will definitely give a 100% guarantee. మనం ఇప్పుడు డిఫారెస్టేషన్ చేస్తున్నాం, దానికి తగ్గగానే అఫారెస్టేషన్ అంటే ఆ ప్లేస్ ని ట్రీస్ ని కట్ చేస్తున్నాం కదా, దాన్ని మళ్ళీ రీప్లేస్మెంట్ అంటే ఒక చోట కట్ చేసినాం అనుకోండి, నెక్స్ట్ వేరే చోట వచ్చేసి ప్లాంట్స్ ని నాటాల్సి ఉంటుంది. అలా అయితే మనం నెక్స్ట్ జనరేషన్ కి గ్యారంటీ ఇవ్వగలుగుతాం సార్. నెక్స్ట్ సార్ ఇలా ఉండే ప్లేసెస్ అన్ని ఇప్పుడు మనం చూపించాలి సార్ మన పిల్లలకి, మన జనరేషన్స్ కి. ఎలా అంటే మా కాలంలో అదే సార్ మా తాతగారు చెప్పేవాళ్ళు మేము డైనోసార్స్ దాన్ని దీన్ని చూసామని, బట్ మేము చూడలేకపోతున్నాం సార్. ఎందుకంటే అంతరించిపోతున్నాయి. ఎందుకు? దానికి ఫుడ్ లేకను, నెక్స్ట్ దానికి ఏమేమో లేవు సార్ తినడానికి, ఆక్సిజన్ సరిగ్గా లేకపోవడం వల్ల ఏమో. బట్ ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఏం సార్, బట్ ఇప్పుడు మనం మన ఫ్యూచర్ జనరేషన్స్ కి అడగాలి సార్. ఇప్పుడు సార్ మనం ఎగ్జిబిషన్ లో అదే యానిమల్ ఎగ్జిబిషన్ లో జూస్ లో వెళ్ళి చూస్తుంటాం సార్ అనిమల్స్ ని. లైక్ ఇలాంటి అనిమల్స్ ని చూస్తుంటాము, మనకు అనిపిస్తుంది ఇప్పుడు మన లైఫ్ లో ఇప్పుడు ఎందుకు లేవు అని. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనం పేరెంట్స్ అడిగితే ఏం చెప్తారంటే అప్పట్లో అందరూ చెట్లని బాగా పెంచేవాళ్ళు, ఇప్పుడు అందరూ దాన్ని కొట్టేసి ఎవరి వాళ్ళు చెప్పుకుంటూ ఉన్నారు. నెక్స్ట్ ఇప్పుడు ఎవరు ప్లాన్స్ గురించి ఆలోచించడం లేదు. నెక్స్ట్ వాళ్ళ గురించి వాళ్ళ ఫ్యూచర్ జనరేషన్ గురించి ఎవరేమనుకుంటారు అనుకుంటున్నారు సార్. నెక్స్ట్ మన ఫ్యూచర్ లో సార్ మా అంటే నెక్స్ట్ జనరేషన్ ఉంటుంది కదా సార్, వాళ్ళకి సార్ ఒకవేళ అడవులే మొత్తం క్యాన్సిల్ అయిపోతే ఏమవుతుంది అని నేను ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను సార్.
ఒకవేళ సరే ప్లాంట్స్ అన్ని ఫారెస్ట్ అన్ని లేకపోతే ఏం జరుగుతుంది అంటే సార్ పిల్లల నెక్స్ట్ ఫ్యూచర్ జనరేషన్స్ మొత్తం ఆక్సిజన్ సార్ లైక్ ఇలా ఎయిర్ లో కాకుండా మాస్క్స్ పెట్టుకొని తిరగాల్సి ఉంటుంది సార్. నెక్స్ట్ అనిమల్స్ కూడా చాలా అంటే చాలా తగ్గిపోతాయి సార్, లైక్ డాగ్స్, స్నేక్స్, బర్డ్స్ సార్, లైక్ స్పారోస్ సార్. నేను చిన్నప్పుడు లేచి చూడంగానే స్పారోస్ కనిపించారు సార్ నాకు పైన. ఇప్పుడు వెళ్ళి చూస్తే ఒక్క స్పారో కూడా కనిపించడం లేదు సార్. ఎందుకు అంటే ఈ రేడియేషన్ వలన అసలు మనకేం కనిపించడం లేదు సార్. నెక్స్ట్ మనం డెవలప్ అవ్వాలి, నేనేం కాదనడం లేదు, కానీ మనం దాంతో పాటు మనకి మన ఫ్యూచర్ జనరేషన్ కి కూడా గ్యారంటీ ఇవ్వాలి కదండి సార్. అందుకు మనం డిఫారెస్టేషన్ తో పాటు అఫారెస్టేషన్ కూడా చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్తే మనం బ్యాలెన్సింగ్ గా ఉంటుంది సార్ ఎర్త్. లేకుంటే మొత్తం సార్ ఈ వరల్డ్ లో ఒక లైఫ్ అనేది ఉండదు సార్. మనకు లైఫ్ స్టార్ట్ అయ్యిందే అనిమల్స్ దగ్గర నుంచి సార్. అనిమల్స్ లేకుంటే మనం ఉండలేం సార్. వీఆర్ హోస్ట్ ఆన్ అనిమల్స్. నెక్స్ట్ సార్ ఫారెస్ట్ లో మనకు చాలా యూజెస్ ఉన్నాయి సార్. ఫారెస్ట్ లైక్ మనకు ఫారెస్ట్ నుంచి ఫ్రూట్స్ వస్తాయి, వెజిటేబుల్స్, ఇంకా వాటర్, రైన్స్ పడడానికి కారణం ఫారెస్టెస్. ఇంకా వచ్చేసి మన ఫ్యూచర్ లో కూడా సార్ మనకి ఇప్పుడు అన్ని కెమికల్స్ కనబడుతున్నారు సార్ రైన్ పడడానికి, కానీ ఫ్యూచర్ లో అలానే ఉంటుంది సార్. జస్ట్ రైన్ స్ప్రే చేస్తే వాన పడేటట్టు. అప్పుడు ట్రీస్ ఏం ఉండవు కాబట్టి స్ప్రే చేస్తే వాన పడాలి అన్న స్టేజ్ కి వచ్చేస్తారు సార్ అందరూ. ఈ ట్రీస్ అనేవి మనకి ఎంత ఫారెస్ట్ లో ఉండే సార్. ఫస్ట్ మనకి అనిమల్స్ గురించి చెప్పమన్నారు కదండి సార్ మీరు. అనిమల్స్ అనేవి బతకాలంటే ఫస్ట్ ఉండాల్సింది ఫారెస్ట్ కదండి సార్. అందుకే నేను ఈ ఫారెస్ట్ అనే టాపిక్ తీసుకోబడ్డాను సార్. నెక్స్ట్ సార్ హనీ బీస్ సార్. దాని నుంచి మనం చాలా నేర్చుకోవాలి సార్. ఏంటంటే అవి సార్ దాన్ని వర్క్ చేసుకుంటూ నెక్స్ట్ హ్యూమన్స్ కి కూడా హెల్ప్ఫుల్ అవుతున్నాయి సార్. అవి నేచర్ కి ఎలాంటి డ్యామేజ్ చేయడం లేదు, హ్యూమన్స్ కి ఇంకా ప్రాఫిట్ అవుతుంది సార్. మనం కూడా దాని నుంచి అలా నేర్చుకోగలిగినట్టయితే మనం ఫ్యూచర్ జనరేషన్ సూపర్ ఉంటుంది సార్. నెక్స్ట్ సార్ ఇక్కడ చూడండి సార్, మన ప్లాంట్ వల్ల ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయో సార్. ఒక హ్యూమన్స్ కే కాదు, ఈ ప్లాంట్ వల్ల సార్ ఆక్సిజన్ దొరుకుతుంది, మినరల్స్ వస్తాయి, ఫ్లవర్స్, ఐ థింక్ ఎనర్జీ వస్తుంది సార్. అనిమల్స్ కి ఎనర్జీ వస్తుంది. నెక్స్ట్ మనకి స్ట్రెంగ్త్ వస్తుంది. నెక్స్ట్ వాటర్ రైన్స్ పడడానికి రీజన్ ప్లాంట్స్. నెక్స్ట్ ఆ ప్లాంట్స్ బతికినప్పుడే ఇలాంటి అనిమల్స్ అన్ని బతకగలుగుతాయి. నెక్స్ట్ ఇలాంటి అనిమల్స్ అన్ని కలిపిన ఫారెస్ట్ ఉంటేనే ఒక వరల్డ్ బాగుంటుంది. ఓకే సార్, దట్స్ ఇట్.
Hello?
Thank you, Ruxana. Yeah. Okay. So, are there any more participants? Please raise your hand. If there is anyone else who would like to participate in the storytelling competition, please raise your hands. The people who have already participated do not need to raise their hands. Only the ones who are yet to participate, please raise your hands. Ruxana, it is okay to say in Telugu. We don't need in the English. It will be enough. Ira, if you would like to present your story again, we can give you another chance.
Hello.
Hello, Ira.
Yeah, I won't present the whole story, but I put a few pictures and stuff. So
Yes, you can show us the pictures. Are you able to share your screen?
no, it doesn't give me the.
Wait.
Oh yeah, I got it now. Give me a second. I'll present.
Yes, yes. You can take your time.
Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So basically, I said, if you don't remember, I said a story about how I saved two baby chicks, and
Yes.
few pictures about it. So basically, this is how my balcony is. As I said, it has a protruding edge where pigeons and their chicks always stay. And this is how the chicks looked. I mean, they don't look that great, but the more you get to know them, they become cuter. And those are like the remnants of the egg which got cracked. I don't know why we took a picture of that, but memories. And this is the second chick that we saved, Snoopy. Yeah, there you can see Loopy and Snoopy. And this is our last attempt at reuniting the mother with her chicks, where we took a stool and we put a basket on a stool and we put the nest in the basket so that the mother can come to her chicks without the risk of the eggs falling. And then we realized that the handle of this basket was over here. The handle was proving to be kind of a challenge for the mother to tend to her chicks. So we took the nest and we put it down. And since then, they grew up and they left. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to show the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ira, for sharing the presentation with us. So do we have any more participants? If anyone would like to tell the story, please raise your hand now. If there is anyone remaining to tell the story, please raise your hand, or otherwise we will conclude the competition. Okay, so there are no more hands. So we will conclude this competition now. So now my colleagues Mihir and Gayatri will share their thoughts with you. The storytelling competition is now concluded. So Mihir and Gayatri, if you would like to say a few words, you can go ahead.
Am I audible and visible?
Mihir, you are audible, but your video is stuck.
Now is it visible?
Yeah, it is visible, but the video is a bit choppy. I think it should be fine. You can go ahead.
Okay, like should I stop my video or something? Yeah, so hey people, it was really very exhilarating to see all you sharing your experiences, and it just shows that how keen observation you people had. Like in 9th class and 10th class, you can observe from little ants to mighty elephants and then write stories about that. It is so great to see that. And you took us from this corporate in Uttarakhand to directly to Murumala in Tamil Nadu. So it was pretty great experience to have you guys here. Just one thing I would like to say that in the forest, you or anyone sitting in a jeep is not a boss, but the elephant and the other animals are boss. Just
Mihir, we cannot hear you. And your video is also stopped now. Mihir, we cannot hear you. Your video and audio both are stuck. So Mihir is having some problem with his network. So Gayatri, if you would like to say something, you can go ahead.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for all the story entries, and I think the purpose of this exercise was basically to for you guys to go out and observe what you see around you. And for me, the most interesting thing among all the stories that we heard today was the fact that you guys are really aware that biodiversity just doesn't include what you see only in a wildlife sanctuary, and it really also means what is just outside your house. So that I think is a very relevant observation, so that you start noticing and caring for what is just outside in your garden. So congrats for noticing that, and thank you for all the stories that you narrated to us, and glad we could hear to all of that. So thank you everyone.
So Mihir, would you like to speak now? You can go ahead if you would like.
The video won't work, so I'm just, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Yes.
Yeah. So hey people, it was really fun and exhilarating to hear your plethora of animals, like from little ants to mighty elephants. Just from my side, forest, any jungle, let's say elephant are the boss and people in the jeep are not the boss. Just remember that. Anything regardless of that, thank you for your stories, and hope that you
Mihir, we are not able to hear you. You are not audible. Mihir, would you like to say anything more, because we were not able to hear you for past 1 or 2 minutes? So, hello everyone. So with this, we will be concluding our today's session, and it was quite exciting. So it was a fun for me to like moderate this session as well. And now So now Divya will explain how to upload pictures on iNaturalist.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Divya. I'm here to present how to document your images from nature into iNaturalist app. Uh, Apart from app, you can upload images on a web page also. As we could see that many students were unable to upload images because it was due to them and they were unable to make out how to upload. So today I'll explain you about this. When you open the iNaturalist app, uh, the image looks like this on your phone. So you have to sign up. Then using your credentials, you have to choose account through which you have to log in onto iNaturalist app. You can see a home page like this. If you have already uploaded, you can see this. This is from my home page, images that I have uploaded long before. So once you click on the icon on the left side corner top, the three dashes, as you can see, there is a point. So when you click this app icon, you can see all these things listed out. So you can go into projects where a lot of students and explorers have uploaded their uh, images. Then you can upload new photos also that you have clicked. And if you have any doubts, you can click on help. Then yeah, if you click on the projects and search for CCME Wildlife Week, you can see this homepage. You can click on join if you want to join and upload your images. Then yeah, as you can see, there's this tab called new observations. When you click it, you will see these options. You can take photo and upload, or you can choose an image from your gallery. You can record the sounds of birds, animals, and upload them as well.
Abhishek, hello. Yeah. 1 second, I'll put. Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't share my screen. I think now it is visible. So once you sign up and start uploading images, uh, you can choose images from your gallery. I have used the last images. As you can see, this one I have selected, and then uh, you can see similar images coming on iNaturalist webpage. So you can select the best one. Sorry. Here, the image I clicked is similar to Chinese glory blower. So I have selected that. Then I have uploaded the location where I have clicked it. Then I have chosen a project to which I wanted to add. And after that, I have clicked on this thing. Okay. So you can see one of the participant has uploaded his observation, and it's on CCMB Wildlife Week project. Then if you want to just not to join any project or keep it as your observation, then you can upload it onto your page. So this is how you can see a lot of observations that you have recorded. Hope you have all have got, and from now you can just try on installing app or going through the iNaturalist web page and try uploading beautiful images of flowers, plants, or insects, whatever you like. So you will see a lot of people like you, and you can explore their images also. You can suggest the best genus or species if they are unable to identify. If even you can know if you are not sure of what species it is. And now my friend Abhishek will tell you the importance of uploading these images onto such uh, beautiful apps. Thank you all.
Thank you all for attending. Thank you, Divya. So just quickly, just adding to whatever Divya said. So these platforms such as iNaturalist and others, they are useful because they help in documenting the wildlife and biodiversity around. And these are generally called citizen science platforms. And these especially help researchers or scientists who are specifically working on specific questions, because citizen science, there are so many students or so many people who can upload observations, so it's on a very massive scale, and it really helps in documenting the biodiversity on a very large scale, which otherwise won't be possible. So I've just shared with you other links as well, such as for eBirds, there are specific platforms where you can go and upload the observations for the birds that you see, and there are for trees as well. But iNaturalist is one where you can upload anything. So if it's an insect tree, or if it's a butterfly or a moth, and things like that. So, and it works not just as a repository for biodiversity that you see in a lot of your urban centers and other places, but also uh, to help ourselves also identifying what all is around us. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And thank you.
Thank you, Abhishek. So thank you everyone for their stories and their participation. So in the end, I would like to say that humans love telling stories. We tell stories about everything and anything that we see. We tell stories about ourselves. We understand a lot of things around us through stories. So given the importance and fascinating beauty of wildlife for our lives, for our well-being, it is important that we tell and listen to stories about wildlife, about diversity, about nature. So again, thanks everyone for their stories. I hope you tell these stories to others as well further, like from this competition. And with that, we conclude today's session, and we will announce the results of all the competitions next week, and we will email the results to all the participants, and we will contact the winners for further information. Thank you. Saket, were you not able to join earlier? Where is it? Saket, can you raise your hand? Hello, Saket, can you hear me? Hello. Saket, you need to unmute yourself. Saket, you have to unmute yourself. You are still on mute. Saket, I cannot hear you still. If you would like to narrate your story, you can go ahead, but I am not able to hear you. Hello, Saket, can you hear me? I think Saket has left, so now we are closing today's session. Thank you.